Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Botanical. Today we're going to be testing out some mineral sunscreens, meaning that the active ingredients are going to be zinc oxide or sometimes zinc oxide with titanium dioxide, and they all vary in different percentages. I struggle with mineral sunscreens, and I think a lot of people with like deeper complexions struggle with it because they tend to leave a white cast. It has a lot to do with the active ingredient. It's just hard to get zinc oxide formulated in a way that does not leave a white cast, but you guys have been recommending different mineral sunscreens to me, so I wanted to test all of them out for you that you've been recommending. So for today's video, we're actually going to be talking about, how many do I have? 2, 4, 6, 7 mineral sunscreens. So before we jump into the video, we want to talk about my skin type. As always, I have very oily, acne prone, extremely sensitive these days type of skin. The first one we're going to talk about is 2 other sunscreens from CoTZ. So we're going to start out talking about the Face Prime and Protect tinted mineral sunscreen from CoTZ. This one is an SPF 40. It says it's supposed to be like a sheer matte formula, and it has a PA value of 3+, and this is specifically like a facial primer, so you should be able to wear it as it is, but also wear it underneath your makeup as a primer to help your makeup stick. It says that it's water resistant 80 minutes. The active ingredients in this one is titanium dioxide 8% and zinc oxide 3.8%. The directions say to apply liberally 15 minutes before sun exposure, and then after 80 minutes of swimming or sweating to reapply, and immediately after towel drying, and then basically at least every 2 hours, which is pretty standard. I always follow the 2-finger method, so that's what you guys are going to see in this video as far as my testing. After applying this one and really trying to work it in and work it in and work it in, it just did not blend in. I still ended up with a white cast. So the way that I put it on is I put the sunscreen on, really rub it in, and then usually I wait 15 minutes because sometimes they just need time to like sit into your skin. But this one, even after 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, it still had a white cast to it. It's kind of like a no for me. Honestly, with any sunscreen, if it has a white cast, you could probably make it work by putting makeup on it, but for me, the criteria is when I put it on my skin as is with no makeup, I want it to look perfect because I don't wear makeup every single day, and sometimes, you know, I'm running late, I don't have time to put makeup on, but I need to make sure I put my sunscreen on. So I look for a sunscreen that has 0 white cast from the beginning so that I have the option to wear it with makeup and without, and this one just didn't work for me. I did really like the finish of it though. It was very like primer, smooth, lightweight feel to it, but the white cast was just too much for me. The next one was the CoTZ Sensitive formula. This one was even more recommended than that face primer one, so I had pretty high hopes for this one as well. This is their sensitive non-tinted formula. It's SPF 40 broad spectrum, water resistant for 40 minutes. Like I said, this one was actually 80 minutes, the Face Prime and Protect one, but the sensitive one is just 40 minutes. The active ingredients are just zinc oxide 20%. This one may stain fabrics. It definitely does. It's not as bad as the tinted one though, as far as like sticking to the fabric, probably because this one doesn't have a tint. Smoothed it out, and it actually blended with no white cast whatsoever. So I was really happy about that. My only thing is it was very greasy and sticky and tacky. It never really, to me, it didn't feel like it ever really fully dried down. So I thought, okay, maybe that's just because I have my regular moisturizer under. Maybe this is one of those sunscreens where you just skip the moisturizer and go straight to it. So actually on day 2 of wearing it, I had my acne stuff on, but I skipped my regular moisturizer and I went straight for the sunscreen, and I applied this on, and I felt like it actually sat better than it did with moisturizers. Yeah, I'm actually wearing this one today, and it actually doesn't look that bad because I just, you know, put my powder a little bit more than I would normally do, and it wears fine under makeup. The only area I have issues with is like around my nose. The makeup kind of starts to break up with this sunscreen, but everywhere else it wears like fine for me. By itself, I was not a huge fan of this one. I loved that it didn't have a white cast, but I didn't particularly like the finish for oily skin. Wow, my sunlight is going. Let's move a little bit. The next one that I tried out was Pipette. This is Pipette's Mineral Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This one is fragrance free, Oh, I should say the other ones don't have a fragrance. I forgot to mention that. But this one is also fragrance free. It's marketed as clean, non-toxic, non-nano sunscreen. The active ingredient is zinc oxide 20%. I just want to read what the claims are for this before showing you what it looks like. So it says, our baby-friendly sunscreen uses 100% mineral non-nano zinc oxide for broad spectrum UVA, UVB protection that works for the whole family, okay? And then it also says, this lightweight formula rubs easily into the skin. No ghostly white cast. Seriously, that's what it says. And then it says protecting from the sun's harmful rays. So they are claiming right on here that there will be no ghostly white cast. I tried this on day 1, regular moisturizer, regular skincare underneath, and put this over, and lo and behold, it left a white cast. It's one thing for a sunscreen that doesn't actually claim to be vanishing or clear to have a white cast. It's like, okay, they never said that. But if they literally write on the bottle that it is not going to have a white cast, I expect it to not have a white cast. Like, that seems like false marketing to me, but you know, whatever. So it left a white cast for me, and this just felt so dry. Like, it was like ashy, dry, white. So I tried it again day 2 because I was like, maybe it's something that I'm doing, because if they're making these claims, I expect it to work. So on day 2, I tried it out with no moisturizer underneath and just acne stuff and put this over, because I thought this time the white cast wasn't as extreme, but there was still a white cast. So I don't know. I don't know, Pipette. Basically, I would not recommend this to you if you have deeper complexion. It left a white cast for me, and I overall didn't like the feel of it. I would definitely not recommend this if you have dry skin, because you're gonna be extra dry, baby, okay? But if you have oily skin and a lighter complexion, it may work, but I just can't, yeah, I can't ask you guys. I can't tell you guys to buy this. So the next sunscreen that you guys were like, oh my gosh, you need to try it, I love it, is the Cocokind Daily SPF 32. This is a facial sunscreen lotion, broad spectrum SPF 32. It says protection against all of the light, UVA, UVB, and blue light. The active ingredients are 21% zinc oxide. It says on here that it's not water resistant. This one took a little bit of working in, and even after that, it was still ashy, and it was pretty drying for me again. So if you have dry skin, I would say definitely a no-no for this one. And if you have deeper skin, it's definitely a no-no, because you're gonna be looking white and casket ready. So I really didn't like this one either. I would not recommend this Cocokind one if you have dry skin. If you have oily skin, you may like it. For me, it was a little too drying. And if you have deeper skin, it's a no. We got 2 more. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Okay, so the next one is actually a newer launch. This is the Supergoop Mineral Sheer Sunscreen SPF 30. So this is a broad spectrum SPF 30 PA 3+. The active ingredient is 17.5% zinc oxide. This one again is fragrance free. It's going to be non-irritating, but I feel like that's just the thing with mineral sunscreens. At least for me, most of them are non-irritating, and it's also vegan. This one is not water resistant, so you'd want to make sure you're using a water resistant product if you're sweating or swimming. But when I applied this one and rubbed it in, I was kind of disappointed because there was a white cast. This one left me super ashy. As far as the finish though, I really actually liked how the finish felt. It was a natural finish. It was very smooth. I think that it would be good for someone with oily skin, because it kind of had, it's not matte, but it's like a natural finish and very smooth. It didn't make me extra greasy. So if you have oily skin, this one might work for you, but if you have deeper complexion, it's a no. The last one is this Australian Gold Botanical Sunscreen. This is their tinted face SPF 50 broad spectrum. This one is unique because it's actually a BB cream. The active ingredients, like I said, was 4% titanium dioxide and 4% zinc oxide. This is water resistant for 80 minutes, broad spectrum SPF 50, and it says that it's fragrance free. I personally think it has kind of a, what is it? It's kind of like the smell of tanning lotion. Yeah, it kind of smells like that. smells like a fake tan. So I actually got 2 shades of this. The first shade that I picked it up was this medium to tan. I don't know why I thought that this would work. I don't know. I was like, oh, well, this isn't as, that's kind of dark. But now that I'm looking at it again, it's not that dark if you compare it. And this one just didn't work at all. So the one that I actually tested out for you guys on camera is this one, which is the BB cream for rich to deep skin tones. Let me show you what the lightest shade is supposed to look like. You see that? And then this is what the deepest shade is supposed to look like. So I had pretty high hopes that it would somewhat blend and match in, but even after rubbing, it did not work. So sadly, this one left a white cast. It was like a weird white cast. It wasn't like gray. Well, it was gray. It was gray, but like a dark gray, you know, because it had the tint in it. So this is actually their deepest tint in the line. I actually did like the finish of this one. It's a BB cream, so it kind of has like a makeup finish, but it was very like, very light, very matte, but not like too matte, and it had a really good finish to it. So kind of a bummer that it had an ashiness in it. So this review is kind of a miss, I would say. There's really only one sunscreen in here that I would like recommend, and that is the CoTZ Sensitive Non-Tinted SPF 40. This one was the only one that did not leave me with a white cast. The only reason that I'm hesitant to not recommend it to you guys is because of the finish. If you have oily skin like me, I would probably stray away from this. Like, it's okay, but you're gonna look greasy, girl. You're gonna look greasy, okay? You might need to blot a little throughout the day. You might need to put some powder on, but there's no white cast. That's pretty much it for today's video. As always, just remember that just because a sunscreen didn't work for me, it doesn't mean that it won't work for you. So if you're interested in it, go ahead and give it a try. Really, sunscreens are 100% based off of your preference. I don't think that there's one sunscreen that works for everybody. Like, it's not a one size fits all. So even though I may say it's okay, your skin may react differently to it. The finish may be different on you. The tint may be different on you, because even if you're brown, we're all in different shades of brown, you know? So it might look different on your skin, but I hope these videos are helpful for you to kind of see it on someone with a deeper complexion and someone that has oily, acne-prone skin, and help you to make your decision towards one or the other. So yeah, that is it for today's video. If you have any other mineral sunscreen recommendations, please leave them down in the comment section. If you like this video and you made it this far, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.